Are seniors at Brighton High insecure about their height? By Michael Chernov and Gideon Larsen. All right, our question. With this experiment, we were investigating what the effects of adding additional information about heights would be to the question, what is your height? The three questions we asked to do this were, what is your height? Just plain. The average height of a Utah man is 5'10" and 3/4. What height are you? And then for females, we did, the average height of a Utah woman is 5'4" and 1/2. What height are you? So in total, we did 30 of each gender. 15 were given the plain question, and 15 were given the additional information question. We wanted to see the differences these results would yield. Alright, so our purpose and hypotheses regarding our question. What we were trying to see was whether having no context about the height would maybe cause a different response, someone to maybe lie about their height, nothing to compare themselves against, or if the additional information would maybe cause someone to be embarrassed or maybe like insecure about their height, and they would bump it up then to make them seem like average or above average or close to average. Alright, so I actually anticipated that the respondents who would receive the question with additional information would respond with a taller height than those who were simply given no context. But Gideon actually anticipated that the students who didn't receive the additional information would be more inclined to lie because they don't know what the basis or average would be. They don't have anything to compare themselves against, and they would report a taller height than those with the context.
Now that we've talked about the way the study was conducted, we can actually look at the information we've gathered now. So first up is the females. Now, looking at the mean and standard deviation between the two questionnaires, we can see that the difference between them are infinitesimal. I mean, they're ridiculously small. 0.010 inches almost that's the difference between the mean heights. And honestly, it's not a big difference. It's not what we were expecting when going about the study. However, what has changed is the way the information is distributed in these graphs, and we're going to talk about that in a second. The same thing is roughly true for the males. The change between the mean is about 0.3 inches, and the standard deviation is only like 1 inch. And so when we're analyzing this information, what we can see isn't a change in mean and standard deviation of the groups. It's a change in the way the subjects have answered the question. Rather than a bell-shaped, roughly normal distribution like we would expect with a height study, what we've got is it's splintering into about 3 groups. The first group seems to be underestimating their height. The last group seems to be overestimating their height, and the middle group, which is the biggest, seems to be generalizing their height. And the way we think this happened was that the subjects know instinctively, as all people do, that they're under-averaged or over-averaged in their height, or simply average. And so when we give them a number, for instance, 5'4" for females, they can identify with that number. They can say either, oh, I know that I'm under average height, so I'm going to guess by how much I'm under that height, and it tends to be underestimating. Or they can say, oh, I know that I am average, so I'm going to put something very close to that number, which is why we have such a large and concentrated middle group. Or they can say, oh, well, I know that I'm over the average height, so I'm going to guess by how much. In a similar process to the underestimating, they end up overestimating. And this is the main takeaway from this study, isn't that we get ridiculously false information. It's just that the way we get it is in a biased way, even though we do get the similar results. And that's the main takeaway.